Rickey Henderson.
She's running. Pitch taken. Harris throw. Saved. A 1-0 deficit. Rickey goes. A pitch taken. He's going to have it. No. Saved at second base.
I'm the greatest of all time. Thank you.
He was the legendary base-stealing bandit. Lightning fast, with a swagger that still echoes through the game, Rickey Henderson was that man. You don't need to know WAR, OPS, or even what an infield fly is to know this guy changed baseball. Because Rickey, he wasn't just in the game, he bent it to his will. The fastest feet the league ever saw, the king of stolen bases, the emperor of attitudes, and quite possibly the most flamboyant force to ever step into the batter's box. This is the story of the man who didn't just rewrite the rulebook, he stole it, flipped it, and moonwalked into third. Let's get into it. Christmas Day, 1958. While most kids were unwrapping presents in Chicago, the baseball gods were delivering their own gift to the world. Rickey Nelson, Henley Henderson. But Chicago couldn't contain this future legend. The Henderson family packed up and headed west to Oakland, California, where the streets were tougher, the attitude was grittier, and apparently the perfect breeding ground for baseball's most audacious thief. As a kid, Rickey was a standout athlete at Oakland Technical High School, excelling in both baseball and football. He didn't even play baseball early on, as football was his first love, and honestly, he was demolishing kids on the gridiron with those lightning-quick feet and razor-sharp instincts. But here's where mama knows best. Rickey's mother took one look at her son's brittle future in football and said, "Son, those football careers are shorter than a Rickey Henderson leadoff." She convinced him to give baseball a shot, and thank God she did, because what happened next was pure magic. Rickey had that raw, unteachable speed and a unique twist. He batted right-handed, even though he was a natural lefty thrower, a rare combo that gave pitchers nightmares before he even stole a base. By graduation, Rickey was already turning heads. Scouts couldn't believe how he turned a walk into a triple threat. Once this kid got on base, forget second, he's coming for third, and maybe even home, before you could even blink. The Oakland A's knew what time it was. They drafted him in 1976, and Rickey made sure the minor leagues wouldn't forget his name. In just 46 games, he batted .336, cracked 3 homers, and racked up 2 triples. Then came Modesto, and the record books started trembling. In 1977, he hit .345 over 134 games, stole a jaw-dropping 95 bases, and broke the single-season record held by Darryl Woodard. He took home the Sundial Trophy as the Modesto A's MVP, and by then, his feet were famous. By 1979, Rickey made his MLB debut with the Oakland A's, and wasted zero time making it his personal highlight reel. It was obvious this kid was different. He wasn't just trying to get on base, he was daring pitchers to let him, and once he was on base, you could practically hear the opposing catcher gulp. Right out of the gate, he stole 33 bases in just 89 games, and that was just the warm-up. It was not normal for just any rookie. 1980 rolled around, and Rickey decided to get really serious. He became just the third modern player to steal 100 bases in a season. His 100 steals broke Eddie Collins' franchise record of 81 in 1910, with what were then the Philadelphia Athletics, and set a new American League record, surpassing Ty Cobb's 96 sets in 1915. Rickey was electric, batting .303, racking up 179 hits, scoring 111 runs, and drawing 117 walks. The man reached base 301 times that season. 301! At that point, the opposing teams probably had PTSD just watching him step into the batter's box. By 1983, he led the league again in steals at 108 and walks at 103, finishing near the top in runs, triples, and OBP. Every time he stepped to the plate, pitchers didn't pray for strikeouts, they prayed he wouldn't get on. In 84, he added power into the mix, hitting 16 homers, leading the league in stolen bases at 66, and still finishing near the top in runs and OBP. Then came the Yankees. The bright lights of New York didn't dim Rickey, they made him shine louder. His first season in pinstripes, Rickey led the league with 146 runs scored and swiped 80 bases like he was shopping at a discount store. But here's the beautiful insanity. He wasn't just stealing bases anymore, he was launching baseballs over fences too. 24 home runs to go with those 80 steals. He was a force that made pitchers terrified. Combining his stolen bases with his 24 home runs, Rickey became the first AL player to join the 2050 club, then flexed even harder to become the first ever 2080 club. There are entire franchises that don't steal 80 bases in a season, and Rickey was doing it while casually crushing dingers on the side. He also won the Silver Slugger Slugger Award, man was third in the voting for the MVP award. His history-making days were far from over, as he became the first player since Jimmy Fox in 1939 to score more runs than games played. But 1989, that's when Rickey came home. Traded back to Oakland, he walked into the clubhouse like he owned the place, which, let's be honest, he basically did. 52 steals, 72 runs, and 126 walks that season. 126 walks. It was the most for any AR hitter since Frank Howard's 132 in 1970. Then came October, and Rickey Henderson in the playoffs was like watching a master thief break into Fort Knox with a paperclip. American League Championship Series MVP, 400 batting average, 8 runs scored, 2 home runs, and just for good measure, 8 stolen bases in 5 games, absolutely demolishing Lou Brock's postseason series record of 7. The Athletics swept the San Francisco Giants in the World Series, and Rickey was hitting .474 with an .895 slugging percentage, 2 triples, a homer, and 3 more stolen bases, because apparently winning a championship wasn't enough. He had to put on a show while doing it. That was Oakland's first World Series title since 1974, and Rickey Henderson was the conductor of that championship orchestra. He was on top of the baseball world, but even legends hit turbulence, as the story takes a twist that even Rickey couldn't steal his way out of. 1993, the playoff-bound Toronto Blue Jays. Man, for the first time in his career, Rickey's magic didn't sparkle the way it used to. He hit just .215 in 44 games, a career low. The man who made getting on base look easier than breathing was suddenly struggling to find his rhythm. The stint was short, the fairy tale didn't quite land, but Rickey wasn't done writing his story. He returned once again to his roots, Oakland, for a third time, and then he became baseball's wandering samurai, playing for 6 more teams, including the Padres, the Mets, the Red Sox, the Mariners, anyone who needed a spark of greatness, even in small doses. And in 2001, while wearing a San Diego Padres jersey at age 42, Rickey broke not 1, not 2, but 3 major records, and reached an additional major career milestone. He passed Babe Ruth's record of 2,062 career walks. He shattered Ty Cobb's record of 2,245 career runs scored. He broke Zach Wheat's record for most career games in left field. And on the final day of that season, Rickey smacked a leadoff double, his 3,000th hit, off rookie's pitcher John Thompson. Rickey's career was epic, one of the greatest. But here's the thing most people miss. Rickey wasn't just a baseball stealer. He was a disruptor, a tactician, a full-on offensive weapon. He hit leadoff bombs, he walked on purpose, and when he walked, you knew what came next. He'd turn it into a double the moment he took off for a second. Rickey wasn't called the Man of Steel as a cute nickname. He earned it. He stole 1,406 bases. Let's pause on that. 1,406. That's over 400 more than second place Lou Brock. It's like someone breaking a marathon record and then running an extra 10 miles just for fun. But here's what made Rickey truly special. It wasn't just the talent, it was the theater. His head-first slides looked like superhero landings. His pop jersey collar, iconic. The neon wristbands, trademark swagger. The confidence, borderline cocky. And fans loved it. Or hated it, but either way, you couldn't look away. Rickey wasn't just all about the talent. He stacked up the stats to prove himself. These stats records are not just impressive, they're mythical. He was a character, a bold, confident, third-person talking, quote-dropping, stat-padding superstar. He'd say things like, Rickey's gotta get on base. Rickey don't like to be walked. Rickey wants to run. Rickey is the best. And the wildest part, he wasn't wrong. Most players doing this would get laughed out of the stadium. But Rickey made it charming, because when you back up every word with pure, undiluted excellence, confidence becomes captivating. One of his epic moments was when he broke Lou Brock's stolen base record in 1991 at the Oakland Coliseum. Brock himself was sitting in the stands, watching his record about to fall. And in classic Rickey style, after sliding into second and popping up, he grabbed the base like it was a trophy, held it above his head, and with 36,000 people going crazy, declared, "I am the greatest of all time."
But today, I'm the greatest of all time. Thank you.
Depending on who you ask, that moment was either cringy or iconic. But let's be real, Rickey wasn't lying. He was the greatest, and he proved it over and over again. Rickey wasn't just good, he was consistent for 2.5 decades. He played for 9 different teams across 4 decades, and left his mark in each, starting in the 70s and through the 2000s. He won 2 World Series titles, one with the A's in '89, another with the Blue Jays in '93. He was a 10-time All-Star, an MVP, a Gold Glove winner, and everywhere he went, went, he left fans with stories they'd tell their grandchildren. When Rickey finally hung up his cleats in 2003 at age 44, he had enough records to fill a library. He held the all-time marks for runs scored, lead-off home runs, and of course, stolen bases. That was his forte. 6 years later in 2009, Cooperstown came calling, and Rickey Henderson took his rightful place among the immortals, because legends don't just play the game, they transform it. He turned base stealing into an art. He changed how leadoff hitters were viewed. He made swagger an acceptable part of the game. And yeah, he made pitchers sweat bullets. And on December the 20th, 2024, just 5 days before his 66th birthday, the baseball world lost its most electrifying showman. But here's the beautiful thing about legends. They never really leave us. His impact still echoing in every stadium, in every young star who dares to bring style, speed, and soul to the game. Today, when you watch Ronald Acuna Jr., Tree Turner, or Ellie De La Cruz sprint around the bases, you're seeing Rickey's legacy in motion, because Rickey walked so the next generation could sprint. Some called him arrogant, some called him eccentric, but everyone called him unforgettable. Rickey Henderson didn't just steal bases, he stole our hearts, stole the show, and stole his way into immortality. And that, folks, is how you turn the art of theft into a Hall of Fame legacy. What's your favorite Rickey Henderson moment? Drop it in the comments, and don't forget to smash that subscribe for more legends brought back to life. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Until next time, we'll catch you there.